What's up, everybody? How y'all doing on this Saturday? It's kind of gloomy outside. Real talk. It's December and it is raining in Michigan. Should be snowing, but Anyway, this is just kicking it. It's a way of a kickback, kind of with people that are watching, streaming along with me. Just as a way to talk about anything that's going on in the world, positive stuff, negative stuff, whatever. So, until we start getting questions rolling in, which they should be, because I'm hoping people start asking questions eventually. Essentially, what we're going to talk about first is that Marvel news that dropped this week. Did y'all see that shit? Oh my god, that's it was crazy, man. Like, it dropped during the Game Awards, which they purposely had that investors meeting for Marvel go on way longer than it had to. Yeah, I mean, I'll just look at what was announced. If I can pull this up real quick. I know Loki. I know we got trailers for Loki. We got trailers for Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Let's see, Investors Day. Okay, Investors Day, Disney. Let's see if I can get this activated, because I know I want to more so look at the things that were kind of announced in the, like, just title wise. So I can go to an article and find it real quick. Yeah, they announced 937 things. Jesus Christ. It was a lot of the stuff that we thought we were gonna get looked at. We didn't, because again, this was shown to investors. So investors who had a link account could see a lot of the videos. They got a full experience. People that were at home watching it did not, because again, they're not investors. The price, they did say the price for Disney Plus is going up $1 to $7.99 in March, which is cool. So that means you'll still be able to watch Mandalorian, Soul, and WandaVision for the regular price of $6.99, which ain't bad. I wish they had the list on here, like just a list of things that were announced. Okay. I'll try to share my screen so that way I can see what I'm talking about. Let's see. We can go to Chrome tab. Okay, cool. Bet. All right. And then Spotlight. All right. So looking at it, FX was the first start off. That was one I was like, what the hell is this? The amount of announcement they had. They're going to extend It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia for 4 more seasons. They're going to bring a new season of Atlanta that's supposed to, I believe, in the first quarter of next year, which means more likely between January and March. I highly doubt it dropping in April, because your movies and your shows, you want to kind of keep everything separate. Let's see. We're getting The Old Man starring Jeff Bridges. We're getting American Horror Stories platform. We're getting a comedy about Native American teenagers in Oklahoma called Reservation Dogs. Why the Last Man, which has been in the works for the longest time. Show called Shogun, which is based off James Clavell's novel that it says like a real life Game of Thrones. I've heard nothing but good things about the show Shogun, like the original and the remake. But the biggest announcement from FX was the fact that Noah Hawley, who has directed Fargo, this current season and the previous season, and directed one of my favorite shows, Leap, is doing a TV series based on the Alien franchise with Ridley Scott executive producing it. It's supposed to be set on Earth, I really want to see how they're going to pull that off. Especially like it would add more mythos to the Alien franchise, which I'm really looking forward to see. Do they get the Lucasfilm? We're getting Mandalorian. Like Mandalorian's coming back definitely for a third and fourth season. But we're getting two series that are going to split off from the Mandalorian, which is Rangers of the New Republic and Ahsoka Tano. We kind of figured that with Ahsoka that she would get her own show, especially after what Rosario Dawson did with that character in was it 2 episodes ago? 2 episodes ago. I'm not surprised by that, and Rosario Dawson is the perfect person to play that character. Rangers of the New Republic is the one I want to know more about, because is that Jedi Rangers or is that just regular troopers? Because you kind of already have a team built with the Rangers of the New Republic. You could easily say it could be Carla Dune, aka Gina Carano's character. Finnick, played by Ming-Na Wen. Boba Fett, Tamora Morrison. And I can't remember the guy's name, but give me 1 second. Let me look it up. Let's see. He was in the first episode of this current season. Cobb Vanth. You can easily do that as your 5-man well, no, you're still in the 5th. So you can easily put someone like a who could be your 5th person that could bring comedy relief. Bill Burr's out there. I mean, his character is still out there, and we never know what could happen there. You could easily do because you killed off IG-11, you killed off the farmer. I could easily see in Bo-Katan or her team being a part of this as well. It'll be real interesting what happens with this. I think we already have some of the team already built, but yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to seeing that. They got the Andor show starring I'm sorry, I'm losing my brain here. Sorry, Diego Luna, which I'm looking forward to because that was one of the characters from Rogue One that I was really interested in, just because of the fact that like he is a spy and like he's been doing this for years. And even to look at his face, he was like, "Look, whatever you think of the Empire is cool, but understand that the Resistance had to get their hands dirty too. Like it's a war. No one comes out of a war clean. No, there's no angels and demons in war. There's just demons." The cast is amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. We got an announcement about Obi-Wan Kenobi. It'll be set after Revenge of the Sith. Hayden Christensen will be coming back as Darth Vader, which means that they're going to play around with time a lot, and essentially say that Vader and Obi-Wan, that if this is set before, if this is set 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, it means that by this show's end, it will end with Obi-Wan on Tatooine. So my best guess is that maybe because you can't have Vader and Obi-Wan fight more than once back to back season. It would have to be some time in between. So I can see them easily fighting at the end of season 1 and going from there. But I'm really interested in what the show does, because are they going to bring up Darth Maul? Are they going to bring up Ahsoka? Are they going to bring up Cal Kestis? There are a bunch of the characters they could easily bring into this show that'd be really, really interesting for them to do. We're getting the Bad Batch, which is going to replace Star Wars Rebels. We're getting this. I'm really looking forward to as well. We're getting a series of Star Wars shorts called Visions, which is anime creators. Which I'm in belief that Visions and another show we're going to talk about later are going to be dropped during summer anime seasons, because if Disney wants to compete with the big boys of anime, especially after Crunchyroll getting bought for $1 billion by Sony, I can easily see those two shows. This show and another show we're going to bring up later. I could easily a show which is basically just the What If show. I could easily see those shows being put during that summer of that year frame to compete with the My Hero Academias, the even though it's last season, the Attack on Titans, the Jujutsu Kaisens, the God of High Schools, the Tower of Gods. We'll see, man. I'm really interested in seeing how they pull this off. Star Wars always has deep roots in with Japanese culture. I mean, if you think about it, really, stormtroopers are based off of samurai armor, and lightsabers. Do I have to say more about that? But I think Visions will be dope. Let's see what else they announced. Patty Jenkins is doing a Star Wars Squadron movie, which I can't wait to see, based on what she's done with Wonder Woman and what we see in the previews of Wonder Woman 1984. We're going to get into DC on what kind of Black Nerd Cast is this, which you should follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I really want to see how she's going to do this. I'm really loving the fact that she was like, well, I made my money with Wonder Woman. Bye. Oh, jeez. I don't think we're gonna get Luke in this. I think we will get Wedge. Even though the article's talking about Luke and Wedge, I don't think we're gonna get Luke in this. I don't think they'll do Luke. Kind of unnecessary to bring Luke. We don't have to have the Skywalkers in everything, as Mando has proven. I know we're getting something else from them. We're getting a droid story. One thing I'm interested in, I'm confused about, is the Lando series that they want to do with Justin Simien, who directed Dear White People for Netflix. Is this starring Donald Glover or not? And is it live action? And then we're also getting The Acolyte, which is going to be a mystery thriller about the dark side during the High Republic era, which I'm interested in seeing how that's going to turn out. Especially if that involves Darth Plagueis. Like, that'd be the first time we actually see him in a live action series, and I really want to see how that relationship began. And is this about the Emperor? Because if this is about the Emperor becoming the Emperor, then I really want to see how they pull that off and how he beat Plagueis. Like, I want to see a live action version of that. See. Nat Geo, I didn't really care for. They announced some Disney Plus stuff, but it turns out they announced a Mighty Duck series, a Turner and Hooch series, Big Shot with John Stamos, Beauty and the Beast, a Beauty and the Beast focus prequel starring Luke Evans and Josh Gad. I don't know why you would do that when we know that Gaston's already the jerk. Like, don't try to vilify him and make him a hero, or unvilify him and make him a hero. The Swiss Family Robinson, okay. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, so that's getting a TV series, which that should be a TV series. Making that a movie is just wasn't a smart idea. Some original movies. We're getting a Hocus Pocus sequel. Yes, please. Zac Efron screaming in the baby, couldn't care less. Ulysses and the what is this again? Flora and Ulysses, that looks pretty funny. Treated by the Dozen starring Gabrielle Union, I will watch that. A bunch of other little stuff for Disney Plus. That's gonna be more so the kid part. I am looking forward to this. This come out in theaters. This come out in theaters. Okay, so in theater wise, we're gonna get a Little Mermaid. They announced the cast for that. Halle Berry. I'm sorry, Haley. Yeah, Haley Bailey. I don't want to say Halle Berry. Awkwafina, Daveed Diggs. Lin-Manuel Miranda is doing the music. Melissa McCarthy is playing Ursula. And Javier Bardem is playing the king, of course. A Chip and Dale Rangers movie with Andy Samberg, John Mulaney, and Andy Samberg and John Mulaney as Chip and Dale. A bunch of little movies. They're doing that Sister Act 3 with Tyler Perry directing, which I mean it might have bad hairlines. They did a lot about different things. Raya and the Last Dragon will pull a Mulan and will be on there for premium. So I want to see how much they're going to charge this time for that, but who knows? They announced 4 new shows, which is Baymax, Zootopia, Tiana, and Moana. The big one I really like, and it's something for me that I really like. They're doing a collaboration with a Pan-African company called Kuwagli to create a new science fiction series on Disney Plus for 2022. It looks like a combination of, if I can pull up the picture, give me 1 second, y'all. If the picture will pop. It kind of looks like if you get a chance to look at if you can get a chance to go to the pictures for it, it looks like a Black Panther Wakanda show. But I'm looking forward to seeing that. Really want to support black creators in and everywhere. So I think that'd be dope. It'd be really dope to see that. Let's see. Encanto, which is gonna have Lin-Manuel Miranda. He's pretty much doing everything that's musical for Disney now. Pixar announced a bunch of stuff. Turning Red by the guy who directed Bao. If you have not seen that short film Bao, please look that up. It's a really, really good film. They're doing Buzz Lightyear, which is the original Buzz was by Chris Evans. So the kid in me probably will go. But then get to Marvel. Marvel laid their effective balls on the table. First off, the WandaVision trailer. I think we can play it. So to me, this show, I don't like. It looks like this is being done to her, and from what I can tell, I believe the friend that's in the show is probably the main villain. I've been saying this, I don't know what kind of Black Nerd cast is this. I believe she is the main villain, and she's done something to Wanda that's causing her to go like this. Another thought is that this could be this could be an after effect of her being snapped away by Thanos, and that her mind is more fragmented because of that than before. Like even Tiana Paris's character doesn't know who she is. Sorry. Tiana Paris's character of Monica Rambeau doesn't know who she is. I wouldn't be surprised if now this could have something to do with Doctor Strange 2. But I wouldn't be surprised if somehow the snap messed with her mind and she's not able to function, and or it opened up something that it wasn't supposed to open up. But I think that show's gonna be great, and we only got a few weeks before that show actually drops. So I'm looking forward to watching that. The Falcon and Winter Soldier teaser didn't show me anything I didn't already know. Well, I know this real quick. I did know something about this trailer. That would make sense, Joe. But the problem with that is that the Mind Stone would already be taken away. So it's the Mind Stone. Because they say this set after Endgame. If you know about this trailer, the young girl that puts on this mask right here. Let me see if I can go back a bit. Let's see if I can stop. Okay, right here. This young lady, I cannot remember her name, but I'm gonna see if I can find it. She was in Solo, and I believe she was one of the main villains of Solo that turned out to actually be good. Let's see if I can find her name. Casting. Okay, nah. Yeah, so she was in. Oh, she's actually very, very young. She's 22 years old. Her name is Erin Kellyman. She was in So I'm just saying because in the show Vision has the Mind Stone, also it showed at the end. I think they're gonna try. I think that's a possibility. I also think though at the end of this they're gonna give him a new source of power to basically run off of. That's a big difference from the comic compared to the in regards to your question about Mephisto showing up, I don't think Mephisto will show up in WandaVision. I think okay, if I had to over under it, I would say it's 50-50. And I would say 50-50 because this has a connection. Because before they announced that this show would have a connection to Doctor Strange 2 and the Multiverse of Madness, I didn't think Mephisto was going to show up just because I thought they wanted to keep her power separate from the like magic of Marvel of the MCU. Now that they're saying that her show is going to directly connect to a movie 2 years out, I think it will, and I think she's going to be incapacitated in some ability. For all we know, this legitimately could be it could be what's his name? Mordo fucking with her. Mordo could have easily been like, okay, I can't beat Doctor Strange right now, so let me beat out the second biggest gun in the MCU magic wise. Loki's currently incapacitated because Loki is dealing with his own shit in his own show. You could easily see it to where Wanda is the second strongest magician, like magic user in the MCU other than Doctor Strange. Like Doctor Strange, the only reason he's stronger than her is because the litany of spells he knows compared to Wanda. Wanda is just brute force. Like it's kind of like comparing like this. Wanda is a sledgehammer. Doctor Strange is a samurai sword. You need a lot of skill in order to use a samurai sword. You don't need that much skill to use a sledgehammer. So I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Mephisto is involved in some kind of way. But they really have. I'm really interested in what the story is because they have to tell a full story in 6 episodes, and that's something that I'm going to get to in a second. But The girl right here is Erin Kellyman. She was in Solo, as you all know. She was the leader of the Cloud Riders, the Rebel Cloud Riders. And in this show, she'll be known as Flag Smasher. Now, if I could pull up Flag Smasher as a character, because this show is gonna definitely, the Falcon Winter Soldier is gonna definitely deal with the legacy of Cap. I don't think for Flag Smasher, I don't think they're going to go in the idea of Nazism. I think they're going to go in the idea of a world without heroes. I think that's a lot. That's a lot of what the MCU politically wise has been about, like the policing of heroes. Is it something that we need in the MCU? Do we need the heroes to police us at all times? And with U.S. Agent going out there, it'll be really interesting seeing U.S. Agent versus someone like a Falcon, and how does Winter Soldier get involved in this? Like, of course, we know for a fact the U.S. government is not going to want Falcon to be the next Cap, not because of his nationality, because technically Falcon is still a fugitive. Like, he was broken out of jail. He never served for his crimes. Either they weren't really crime, but he broke the Sokovia Accords. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm really interested in this trailer. I'm really interested in this show. This is the second show we're gonna get, and it comes out literally 3 days after my birthday. But she's leading a small militia, and I really want to see who else is gonna be the villain in the show. I know we're getting Baron Zemo, but I want to know how he overall ties into this show as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Like, just this shot right here, this tracking shot of Falcon flying through the Grand Canyon. And again, who is this shooting at him? Is he being hunted by the U.S. Army? Like, this shot is worth the price of admission. Like, and the one thing that Kevin Feige has said was that he wanted to make these shows a lot like movies. And to a degree, I kind of see where he's coming from with this, because let's see. Okay, so TV series wise. All right, so we know for a fact. So going off this, we know that WandaVision and both WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier are already done shooting. From the looks of this schedule, both will finish on the time of the other. So WandaVision starts January 15th, ends February 19th. That then gives you a month until Falcon Winter Soldier comes out. And then that ends on April 23rd. And then Loki, which will be the next show in May, drops. And that's going to be 6 episodes. So if we track that out properly, we have to know the exact date. So that we're saying that show's probably going to end around. They've been going from the middle of May for each of these shows so far, from the first 2. So we're going to say that ends around maybe May 16th. Let's look at a Friday. Fridays in May. While the trailer plays. And this trailer is really interesting to me, because if you didn't notice, and I'll see if I can pull up the exact spot, but and by the way, this show's being done by the same guy that did Rick and Morty, so you know there's gonna be a lot of funniness to this show. So So we're looking at May 14th as the possibly a date they could drop Loki on. But I highly doubt they'll drop it on that day. But we'll know. We'll never know. And then seeing Luke Wilson here in this role where the hair makes him look a lot older. Now I want to see if I can hit it right on this shot. But if there's a shot in this trailer that shows all something that's really important going forward. Is it right here? So right here, you'll notice right here is the shot in those three heads. It looks like those are the council of Kang. And Kang, the Time Conqueror, is supposed to be is the villain for Ant-Man 3. Well, Quantumania, how they're calling it. I'm interested in seeing how Loki directly involves in that, because how are they going to find a way to put this together to where Loki is first off, this show is going to be ridiculous. I can tell you that right now. This show is going to be insane. But what is it about? Like, what are they blaming Loki for doing something that he didn't do? Is Loki being charged for something? I'm quite sure Loki did some stupid shit. But there had to be a reason that they would grab him and instead of just someone sending him back to his normal time. But I'm really interested in seeing how Loki is involved in the Time Variant Association's group and what they want with him. And this is diving into a part of Marvel that people don't really recognize easily. Like this is deep cut Marvel they're going into with this Loki series. And I think he's a perfect character to do this. Because at this point he doesn't have powers. He doesn't have Loki. That's why all his cunning is. He's very much the Jack Sparrow and Doctor Who of the MCU. He isn't the strongest. Now, right here, we have to ask: is that Black Widow? We don't know, and a lot of people are under the belief that Loki is going to somehow save Black Widow from her fate. I don't think so, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. I do have a theory on Black Widow I'm going to get to later, but let's just keep going with the trailer for right now. If you look in the back right here, you can somewhat make it out. This is in New York, and something has like New York has been bombed out. But if you look in the back right over here, you'll see that that's Avengers Tower, or what was Avengers Tower. So, because again, this show is going to lead into the next show after Loki is What If. So this show could set up that, and you could easily have a Jeffrey Wright in there as a guest star. Jeffrey Wright in there as a guest star to set up the What If show coming up next. Then I think they're just making Loki into Doobie Howser or whatever that character's name, whatever it was. But this shot is hilarious. Like he's jumping off a plane, hoping to get grabbed by Heimdall, and he does. But I can't wait for that show. That show's gonna be really dope. The fact that we're getting these shows within a pretty much a 6-month span, that shot right there is ripped directly out of the comics, and that shot is something I want more than anything else. That is going to be, I cannot wait to see him flourish in this role. Because again, he was if you had told me 15 years ago, hey, we're going to cast an English guy to play Loki, and he's going to end up being one of the best villains to ever exist in not just the Marvel cinematic universe, but comic book movies in general. I'm like, I don't know. But I'm really looking forward to seeing that show. Did they show off? Did they show off the What If trailer? No. Okay, that's probably later. So again, Black Widow is still gonna come out on the May 7th of next year, which I'm kind of disappointed at. I thought they would have put Black Widow around the time of they would drop Black Widow in February, so that way it can set up Falcon Winter Soldier. But they're saying that she is in that Yelena from Black Widow is gonna be in both Falcon Winter Soldier and Hawkeye later. But we'll see. They said that they wrap production on Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and that comes out in July. Multiverse of Madness got pushed back a year, and it'll come out the same year as the third Spider-Man movie, which is getting all the press right now because of the casting that they're putting there. And they officially announced, even though we kind of already knew. They're not gonna fuck up her first name, but Miss Gomez has been casted as America Chavez. Character is essentially America Chavez is she's a I want to make sure I get her nationality correct because so I don't fuck that up because I would hate to fuck that up. Let's see. She's Latin American. Okay. And she's the first Latin American LGBTQ character, which is really interesting. Essentially, her powers involve reality. If I can get it correct, let me get her powers out there. She can really kick open star-shaped holes in reality, allowing her teammates and her to travel to the multiverse and into other realities. So she's almost like, imagine if someone took Captain Marvel and gave him a little bit more juice. What's interesting about the movie, actually Multiverse of Madness that she's going to be in, is that as of right now, the premise just says, after the events of Endgame, Strange is continuing research on the Time Stone. It's hindered by a new enemy, resulting in unspeakable evils being unleashed. I think this is. I think something is chasing. I think because they haven't even really said what they haven't said who the villain for Multiverse of Madness is yet. These we don't like. Yeah, so right now we don't know who the villain is. We do know that Mordo's back in it, but it's interesting that if you look at the film, like the chart of the films, the Far From Home sequel comes out in December of 2021, and then Doctor Strange 2 comes out in March of that next year, 2022. So the way it looks, based on before we get right into the what's going on in this article, we get 4 films in 2021. We get 4 more films in 2022, and then we get 1 film in 2023 as of right now, because the rest they haven't officially announced just yet or when they're coming out. But we're getting Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. I really want to see how that's gonna dive into the movie. But both that and Hawkeye are the last 2 shows of the year, and they're set to come out late 2021. So based on this, if What If so Loki is dropping in May. I say What If is gonna drop in July, and then we're probably gonna get Miss Marvel and Miss Marvel will probably be around Ramadan, and then Hawkeye. So Miss Marvel will be around that August September time, and then Hawkeye will probably be around November, if we're basing this correct. And then you can have both Hawkeye and the Mandalorian on at the same time as a back-to-back. Nia DaCosta is directing Captain Marvel 2, which is going to be amazing. See, that's the thing. I don't believe Scarlet Witch is going to be the villain. I think the villain is going to be. I think the villain, especially now that Sam Raimi's directing it, I think the villain is going to be Nightmare. I wouldn't be surprised if Nightmare is the villain. Or there's a whole bunch of villains they could do. You could do Nightmare. You could do. There's a recent comic. I can't remember the guy's name, but you could do. There's a villain that led an army that was anti-magic against Doctor Strange. That'd be really dope. But no, going back to it, we have Hawkeye got announced. They officially said Haley Stanfield is playing Kate Bishop. It said Tatiana Maslany is playing She-Hulk in the upcoming Hulk show. She'll also have Mark Ruffalo playing the Hulk, and Tim Roth as Abomination come back. They mentioned Hawk. They mentioned Moon Knight, but didn't really go into it. They announced a Secret Invasion show with Samuel L. Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn as live action. They announced a Ironheart show that'll be live action, starring Riri Williams, and they announced that Don Cheadle is playing War Machine in a series called Armor Wars. But what I think people didn't notice about this entire thing is that if you look at everything they've announced so far, they are setting up a Young Avengers or a Champions movie. And if you don't believe me, let's go back through this real quick. So if we look at this correctly, if we look at everything that they're doing, we are getting WandaVision. We don't know if her kids are going to be in there, but if her kids are in there, that's two characters. That is, what are her two kids' names? What's Wanda's kid's name? You have Bev Vision, and then you have what is his damn name? Oh, it's gonna kill me if I know his name. Speed and Wiccan. But you can also have Viv Vision be the second child. So Viv Vision Thomas. I'm sorry. So Viv Vision, which is basically just Vision 2.0. Speed or Wiccan. More likely, I think we're gonna get Viv, and we're gonna get Wiccan. So you have those two. You then have, if you look at it, that's two characters. You then have Loki. I wouldn't be surprised by the end of Loki we have Kid Loki. So that's three. You then have Miss Marvel. That's four. You then have Hawkeye. Now Hawkeye has two. Hawkeye has both Kate Bishop and you have Echo, who in the comics and probably in this show was also played the role of Ronan. You could easily do it to where Ronan is not part of the new team. You have Ironheart. So if we count that out correctly, you have Ironheart, Kate Bishop, Echo, Miss Marvel, they probably won't put Echo in there because I think the focus will be on Kate. So Ironheart, Kate Bishop, Miss Marvel, probably Kid Loki. Well, no. Well, maybe. They'll probably keep Loki involved for the movie. So Wiccan, so that's four. And if we're being honest, the fifth, I'm going to take a wild guess and say Secret Invasion introduces us to Kid Nova. So that's five. The sixth is going to be the most interesting one, and I think that's going to come from the movies, and I think that is going to be Miles Morales. I think Miles is going to be the only one that's movie related. And if they do a seventh member, it will end up being Yelena for Black Widow. Because I'm under the belief that by the end of Black Widow, Yelena and Natasha will switch bodies. Where Yelena's face will be on Natasha's body. And Natasha's face will be on Yelena's body. Because one thing that's really interesting about Endgame that especially when they announced the Black Widow series, the Black Widow movie. If you watch the scene where Black Widow wants to sacrifice herself, it said that the rule stated that in order to get the Soul Stone, you have to sacrifice someone you love. But if you remember, Black Widow threw herself off, and it never said the love had to be reciprocated. You could have easily had it to where Hawkeye thought that Nat died, but it wasn't Nat that died. It was Yelena. Because even if you think about when Hulk tried to when he undid the snap and snapped his fingers, he said in the movie, "I tried to bring Natasha back and I couldn't." You can't bring back someone you can't bring back someone that's not dead. And I think Natasha is going to be coming back, and I think she will have Yelena's face. So that way, you can allow Scarlett Johansson to move on past the role and allow Florence Pugh to take over the role of Black Widow going forward. And that way, you can put her in a younger Avengers team where she's the leader, or she's like the den mother almost to them. She would be the second oldest, probably behind Kate. Her and Kate would probably be the oldest too. But we'll see. It's either Natasha is wearing Yelena's face, or Yelena has taken over as Black Widow. But either way, I think we're getting a Black Widow in a Champion series, a Champion or a Young Avengers movie that's going to introduce Miles overall. But back to the article, I don't think we're getting Patriot yet, because Patriot would make sense after the second season of Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think, even though Patriot was kind of mentioned in for Young Avengers. That is also true. They did a Captain America shot, but I think they want to keep the team kind of at a 3-2 pace, in the sense of, or they want to keep it where it's equal. They want to have as many guys as possible, but as many girls as possible. So if you look at it from that standpoint, you'll have Kate Bishop, you'll have Yelena, you'll have Ironheart, and you'll have America Chavez and Miss Marvel. That's 5. So you have to find five other dudes, or at least 3. So we're looking at who? We're looking at Kid Nova if he shows up. We know we're getting Miles. And then Wiccan if they decide to speed him up and make him into a full-fledged character. But I think an 8-man team would make sense, but it'd be kind of weird. I think the reason you keep it to 5 is because 5 is more doable, because at least with 5 you can know the characters intimately. 8, it becomes an issue. Speed, I don't think. Cassie Lang is a good question too, but we'll see. I think you could easily do it where you do two different movies. You could do a Champions movie with the younger ones, and you could do a Young Avengers with the older ones. And I think if they're going to do Young Avengers, you could put Spider-Man in there, like Peter Parker Spider-Man. But we'll see. But back to this article. Let's see what else they brought up. James Gunn's doing Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. I cannot wait to see what the hell that's going to be, because that's going to be funny as hell. We're doing the I Am Groot series. This is the one I'm really interested in, and this is what I'm really interested in, and this is for Love and Thunder. Christian Bale is joining the next Thor, and is playing Gore the God Butcher. Now, if I can find that comic, I will pull it up. And the reason I want to bring up Thor the God Butcher is because of how important he is overall in the grand scheme of in the grand scheme of things. So let's see. So essentially, okay, I can't find it on here, but Jason Aaron's run of Thor is arguably one of the best comic book runs I've read in a long time. Essentially, we started out by, because Gore's called the God Butcher because he gets this sword after being after disillusioning himself from believing in gods and wanting God's favor to help him do stuff. He's like, fuck it, I'm done with gods, especially after they killed his family. I believe his wife. But he happens to have a run-in when two gods are fighting each other and they're taking one of the gods' swords. Now that's really important because of what's going on in the comics right now. But that sword is called All Black, the Necro Sword. And the reason this sword is so damn important is because every time this sword isn't really a sword. It moves. It can take up any shape it wants to. Like Gore literally wraps it around himself, I believe. If I can find, let's go. Gore the God Butcher. All right, let's look this up. All right, so show y'all something real quick. So as you can see, just in this image alone, if I can. Oh, it's not allowing me to. Okay. So you can see in this image right here, which I had to blow up a bit. If you look at this image, he's with like all that black that's on him is the sword. It's not a literal handle with a blade sword. It is an entity. And the reason that's important is because of Venom. Now, what people don't know is that the All Black Necro Sword is not a sword itself. It's a symbiote. And it was originally worn, it was used by the first user, by the god of symbiotes, Null. Null is a very, very big character right now in the comic books. And he is one of the strongest villains Marvel has ever faced, to the point where they're doing a story right now called The King in Black. And in The King in Black, everyone that's a big comic book fan knows that Sentry at one point, Sentry got his call to fame in comic books by literally grabbing Carnage, taking him to space, and ripping him to shreds. Carnage, not Venom, Carnage, arguably one of the most dangerous symbiotes to ever exist. Null gets here and starts wrecking shop the second he shows up. The whole comic is waiting for their big gun to come down and basically beat up Null. The big gun is Sentry. Sentry shows up, grabs. What does he do? Sentry, when he gets there, Null is using 3 Celestials that he fought. Null is so strong that he cut off a Celestial's head with one swing. Sentry comes through, kills one of the Celestials in one shot. Null sees this and says, "How dare you?" Null gets grabbed by Sentry and gets pulled into space. Sentry starts explaining who he is to Null. And Null's like, no need to explain. I know exactly who you are. You killed one of my symbiotes a while back. Carnage, right? Allow me to return the favor. He then rips Sentry in half, down to literally where the Void. Now, Sentry has a split personality. He has another character inside of him called the Void, which is this super powerful villain that he basically keeps at bay. The Void is then talked down to by Null, and Null says, "I am the Void. I am everything. I am darkness. I am your master." And the Void's like, "Yes, and ma'am," and just stops. So when I say this, to get back to this sword, the reason I'm bringing this up is because if this is a way we can introduce the symbiotes into the MCU, that would be dope. That would be mad dope if they find a way to do that. But the fact they have Christian Bale playing this character, I hope he isn't a one-off. I'm really, really hoping that. But man, that was I kind of called it. I was like, they're either gonna make Christian Bale one or two characters. He's either gonna be his Thor's uncle, or he's going to be Gore the God Butcher. And Gore the God Butcher made the most sense from a standpoint of who you wanted to be the next big villain for Thor. Another thing I want to bring up in regards to Ironheart. Robert Downey Jr. has said one of the projects he wants to see made more than anything else is an Ironheart show. And if he would ever come back, it will be for something regarding Ironheart. Ironheart does have Tony Stark as her AI. Could you imagine the AI for Ironheart being Tony Stark and his quips? I can't. That would be amazing. Now I brought up earlier because of this. Ant-Man the Wasp: Quantumania is coming out, and they're bringing in Catherine Newton to play Cassie Lang. So we're getting an older Cassie. And then we're getting Jonathan Majors, who, if you have not watched Lovecraft Country, please watch that show and do yourself a favor. Is playing Kang the Conqueror. And that's big because Kang leads into our next story, our next piece, which is that John Watts, the same guy that directed Far From Home and Spider-Man Homecoming, is directing Fantastic Four. And that was kind of hinted at the end of Homecoming, when Peter is swinging through New York and he glides through one of the buildings, and that building has the thing that hints at the Fantastic Four. But Kang the Conqueror is important because Kang is the great grandson of Reed Richards. And Jonathan Majors is black. Are you trying to tell me that the Fantastic Four in some capacity might be African American? Like, imagine the shockwaves it would send to people if they found out that Reed Richards, one of the smartest minds in the MCU, is a brother. Or hell, Sue Richards is a brother or a sister. I think that would be great for inclusion. I really, really do. I think I'm gonna wrap because I have a business meeting I have to jump on real quick. The last thing we're gonna talk about, just kicking it today, is that Marvel has decided they won't recast T'Challa and will allow Chadwick Boseman's legacy to pass on. That's probably the smartest thing you could probably do. I think that would be the smartest thing. But I'm really interested in what they do next. The fact that they announced Fantastic Four first, and they didn't announce X-Men, I think, and this article kind of says it too, I think what's going to end up happening is I think the next big Marvel movie, the next big one, the next like Civil War type movie that makes people choose sides, will be an Avengers versus X-Men movie. I think they're going to skip all the formalities about the X-Men because you all know who they are. They're going to just say, look, here are the X-Men, here are the Avengers that we have right now, let's go. And I think we're going to see that theme will build. I think that will be phase 5. I think phase 5 will slowly integrate the mutants into different movies. And then the big movie will be Avengers vs. X-Men, and you'll see those relationships from previous movies play off. Like, let's just say, for example, they do let's just say Iceman is Kamala Khan's age, and those two have a relationship, and they like each other a lot, but I'm with the Avengers and you're an X-Men, and how are we going to handle the situation? So it'd be really interesting to see what happened with that. I'm really interested in seeing what happened with that. But yeah, so I'm going to end it off right here, y'all. Glad you all were able to join me in some capacity. I'll be back. Next time I'll stream is for, pull up the new schedule real quick. I'll actually send out the new schedule too. this week. I didn't send it out. I should have out the new schedule. The end of the schedule. Okay. So next time I'll be back is for the Game Corner, which is next Thursday. And then after that, it'll be Monday, December 22nd, 21st for Tesla's Twitch takeover, Volume 2. And then the next day will be the live stream for the holiday album. So yeah, see you guys next time. Peace and much love. Have a good day. I think somebody sent a message. Who sent the message? Oh, okay. Yeah, see you guys later. Peace and much love. Adios, muchachos.